Rockstar Games is under fire again, and this time the stakes are higher than a 5-star wanted level in the middle of downtown Los Santos. While the entire world has its eyes glued to the horizon, waiting for any scrap of news, any trailer frame, or any official heartbeat regarding the release of GTA V, the studio is behind closed doors dealing with a massive security failure that could compromise years of blood, sweat, and tears. A notorious cybercriminal group known as ShinyHunters has officially confirmed a breach of Rockstar's perimeter, and they aren't just looking for a few grainy, leaked screenshots to post on a forum. They are looking for a massive, multi-million-dollar payday. Rockstar is publicly claiming the damage involves non-material company information, but in the world of high-stakes technology and global entertainment, that is often corporate code for a disaster they are trying to contain before the shareholders panic and the stock price takes a nosedive. To truly understand the gravity of this situation, you have to look past the headlines and examine the method of entry. Rockstar didn't necessarily leave their own front door open, but they did leave the side gate unlatched by placing their trust in a third-party platform called Anodot. This is what the cybersecurity industry calls a supply chain attack, and it is becoming the preferred weapon for high-level hackers. Anodot is a cloud cost monitoring tool used by massive corporations to track spending, server efficiency, and resource allocation. By compromising this specific vendor, ShinyHunters essentially hijacked a trusted service vehicle and drove it right through Rockstar's digital gates without ever having to crack a single Rockstar-owned firewall. It's a sophisticated, cold-blooded move that proves no matter how much money you spend on your own internal foundation, you are only as secure as the weakest link in your professional network. If the person holding your keys is careless, it doesn't matter how expensive your lock is. Now, let's talk about the players involved in this heist. ShinyHunters isn't some random collection of kids in a basement looking for internet clout or a few free shark cards. They are a professional, highly organized outfit with a track record of hitting some of the biggest targets on the planet, including Ticketmaster, Santander, and AT&T. They operate with a clear, savage business model: identify the target, extract the data, and demand a ransom that would make a cartel boss blush. If the ransom isn't met by the deadline, they dump the files on the dark web for the highest bidder or leak them publicly just to watch the chaos unfold. Rockstar has reportedly refused to meet these demands, which puts us in a high-tension standoff. The studio is betting that whatever was stolen isn't enough to sink the ship, while the hackers are betting they can ruin Rockstar's entire fiscal year by exposing their inner workings to the world. When Rockstar calls this stolen data non-material, they want you to believe it's just boring office memos, dry financial spreadsheets, or internal HR emails about the office coffee machine. But let's be real, nothing at a company as secretive as Rockstar is truly non-material. If internal project roadmaps, specific budget allocations for upcoming titles, or early technical specifications for their proprietary Rage engine leak, it gives every competitor and bad actor in the industry a blueprint of their entire operation. We all remember the absolute firestorm that followed the 2022 leaks. It caused a massive internal morale crisis and forced world-class developers to pivot while being scrutinized by a disappointed and often toxic public. A second major breach, especially during the final, high-pressure stretch of GTA V development, is the absolute last thing the studio needs. It slows down production, forces security audits, and creates a culture of fear within the office. There is also the pressing question of what this means for you, the player, the consumer, and the fan. Even if Rockstar's PR department says player accounts are unaffected, history tells us we cannot take those statements at face value during the first week of a breach. When cloud environments are compromised, metadata is often the first thing to walk out the door. This can include email addresses linked to social club accounts, hashed passwords that can be cracked with enough computing power, or linked account details that hackers use for credential stuffing attacks on other platforms. If you have a Rockstar Social Club account, the time to secure it was yesterday. You need to be using a secure browser like Brave to minimize your digital footprint and ensuring that every single one of your gaming accounts is locked behind heavy-duty multi-factor authentication. In this digital age, your foundation is your own responsibility. The fallout of this breach extends far beyond just a few leaked files. It's a direct blow to the culture of total secrecy that Rockstar has spent decades building. They are world famous for being a black box studio, a place where nothing gets out until they decide the world is ready to see it. ShinyHunters has shattered that illusion of invincibility. If the hackers follow through on their threat to release the data, we could be looking at everything from unannounced DLC plans for their current titles to the raw source code of their anti-cheat systems. If that source code hits the web, the multiplayer experience in games like GTA Online will become a playground for modders, hackers, and griefers in a way that could make the game literally unplayable for the average person. It's not just about corporate secrets. It's about the integrity of the games we spend our free time playing. This situation also highlights a growing, dangerous trend in the gaming industry where the developers and the creatives are becoming the primary targets of international extortion. From the Insomniac Games leak to the CD Projekt Red attack, the industry is increasingly being held hostage by groups who know that data is the new gold. Rockstar is the biggest whale in the ocean, which makes them the ultimate prize for a group like ShinyHunters. The fact that the breach happened through a third-party cost monitoring tool is a sharp reminder that in the corporate push for efficiency and automation, companies often create the very gaps that lead to catastrophe. They try to save money on monitoring their cloud costs, and it might end up costing them their most valuable secrets. As we move forward into the coming weeks, the question isn't if the data will be leaked, but how much of it is actually damaging enough to alter the course of the studio's future. Rockstar is currently in full-blown damage control mode, likely working with international federal authorities and private security firms to trace the movement of every single stolen byte. But the internet is a permanent, unforgiving place. Once that data is dumped, there is no calling it back. This could lead to massive delays in upcoming projects as the studio is forced to rebuild compromised systems from the ground up, diverting precious resources away from the creative process at the most critical time in their history. For those of us watching this play out from the outside, this serves as a massive lesson in digital hygiene and personal security. You have to build your own security foundation and keep it updated constantly. Do not fall into the trap of relying on a multi-billion-dollar corporation to protect your identity when they have proven they can't even protect their own internal roadmaps. Change your passwords, audit your linked accounts, and stay vigilant against phishing attempts that will undoubtedly follow this leak. The era of blind trust is officially over. ShinyHunters has proven that if there is even a microscopic way in, they will find it, they will widen it, and they will exploit it until there's nothing left to take. We are now waiting for the next move in this high-stakes game of digital poker. Rockstar has effectively called the hackers' bluff by refusing to pay the ransom, and now the entire world is waiting to see if ShinyHunters actually holds the cards they claim to have in their hand. Whether this results in a few leaked emails that are forgotten in a week or a total, catastrophic exposure of the most expensive and anticipated entertainment product in human history, the impact will be felt for years to come. This is a turning point for how game studios handle their data and their partnerships. Stay sharp, keep your security tight, and don't let your guard down just because you're not the one in the headlines. The circus is in town, the lights are bright, and Rockstar is currently the main attraction in the center ring. This breach is a cold reminder that the digital world is a battlefield, and even the giants of the industry can fall if they trip over a single line of code. As we look toward the future, the gaming industry must decide if it's going to continue relying on these vulnerable, interconnected third-party chains, or if it's finally time to bring every single aspect of security back in-house. For now, we watch and we wait. The data is out there, the hackers are ready to pull the trigger, and the countdown to the leak has already begun. Make sure your own perimeter is secure before the fallout hits the fan. Keep your foundation solid, stay savage in your approach to your own privacy, and stay tuned, because this story is far from over. I'll be here to break it down when the dust finally settles.